Have you ever noticed how the one who gives less is always the one chased more? The paradox is cruel, but it is the nature of power. The more indifferent you appear, the more obsessed they become. The one who is always available becomes invisible. The one who withholds becomes a mystery. And mystery, my dear listener, is the birthplace of desire. To make them chase you forever, you must first destroy the illusion that affection is freely given. No affection must be earned. It must be a prize wrapped in uncertainty, seasoned with scarcity, and delayed with precision. The human heart desires what it cannot possess. So if you want their devotion, do not hand yourself over. You must become a sovereign land, glimpsed but never conquered. The fruit that dangles just beyond reach intoxicates more than the one that lies in the hand. You must not be the fire that warms them, but the flame that scorches their memory and lingers in the room long after you've gone. Understand this. Every time you give too quickly, you devalue yourself in their eyes. Humans are wired to treasure what demands effort. This is not vanity, it is strategy. Those who seem too easy to grasp lose their magnetism because they no longer challenge. There is no war to win, no mountain to climb, no puzzle to solve. And without struggle, there is no obsession, so you must cultivate the art of delay. Speak less, respond slower, be seen rarely. Let your absence become a hunger they cannot satisfy. And when you return, let your presence hit like thunder, brief, loud, unforgettable. In doing so, you train them to crave you, to yearn for every drop of your attention, as if it were wine from the heavens. Your time becomes sacred, your silence a mirror in which they question their own worth. Do not underestimate the weapon that is your withdrawal. It creates a vacuum, and in that vacuum they collapse. To hold this power, you must discipline your emotions. The weak are ruled by impulse. They react, they overgive, they chase. But you are not weak, you are calculating. You do not ask, you suggest. You do not offer, you imply. You do not explain, you allow them to wonder. Power does not shout, it whispers. And when you master the art of restraint, you become the architect of their obsession. Every unanswered message, every cancelled plan, every quiet glance across the room becomes a loaded gesture. You transform into a symbol, an unsolved riddle, a distant star, a ghost wrapped in silk. They will invent stories to explain your silence. They will analyze your words like scripture. And this is the true game, to become so enigmatic that they chase not you, but the idea of you. For ideas are immortal. They don't fade, they don't change, they grow in the dark. You must understand that people do not chase reality, they chase fantasy. Be the fantasy. But fantasy requires boundaries. You must never allow them to possess you completely. Once they feel they have you, the chase ends, and what ends dies. So feed them with shadows. Give them glimpses, not gifts. Moments, not hours. Words, not pages. Make them work for every inch. Praise them rarely. Reward them only when it serves your long game. Love is not built on constant affirmation. It is built on controlled chaos. Keep them guessing. Be hot, then cold. Kind, then distant. Present, then gone. This rhythm of unpredictability keeps them spinning. And while they spin, you remain still, untouchable, sovereign, divine. They become addicted to the inconsistency, because in every silence they insert their own narrative, and it always ends with them wanting more. Now, listen carefully. To maintain this power, you must never chase. Chasing reveals need, and need is the enemy of influence. The moment you pursue, you give away the throne. You reduce yourself to a beggar at the gates of their validation. But when you remain still, when you pull away, when you allow them to fear your absence, you rise above. You become the one who must be won. Your indifference becomes desirable. Your coldness becomes a puzzle. Your silence becomes seductive. They will convince themselves that chasing you is their idea, that proving their worth to you is their purpose. And in this illusion you rule, not with chains, but with distance. Not with promises, but with ambiguity. This is not manipulation, this is architecture. You are sculpting desire out of absence. You are bending psychology into devotion, and the secret is never letting them feel safe. Fear sharpens affection. Anxiety deepens attachment. People want what they fear they may lose. So you must always carry an air of unpredictability. Be kind, but let them know you can disappear. Be warm, but show that your warmth is optional. Be loyal, but never completely. Your love, your attention, your presence, it must always feel earned. And if they fail to earn it, Withdraw. Let the silence speak louder than your words ever could. Let the void do the work. They will return, not because you begged, but because you became unforgettable. And that is the ultimate seduction. To be unforgettable is to be chased forever. You are not offering affection. You are offering access to a kingdom. And every kingdom must have walls. High walls. Beautiful, intimidating, guarded walls. The kind that make people ask, how do I get in? Not why did I ever enter? But a kingdom is not only protected by walls, it is defined by its gates. And your gate must never open too easily. It must creak with resistance. It must signal to the unworthy, not all who knock shall enter. The very act of denying entry inflames desire. Let them stand in the rain outside your silence. Let them pace and guess and ache. Do not pity their longing. That ache is proof of your power. The world is full of people begging to be seen, to be chosen, to be loved without cost. But not you. You are the exception. The moment you require nothing, you become everything. Because most people are noise. You, by contrast, are silence. And silence is not empty, it is loaded. Silence makes them listen. Silence makes them wait. Silence makes them wonder what truth you're not telling. The more they chase, the more they imagine. And imagination is where obsession is born. Never clarify what could remain ambiguous. Certainty kills curiosity, and curiosity is the fuel of pursuit. If they know exactly who you are, where you stand, and what you feel, you hand them control. But if your words are carefully chosen, your emotions selectively revealed, and your intentions draped in velvet shadows, you keep the reins. Let them draw conclusions. Let them misinterpret. Let them obsess over decoding you. This is not cruelty. It is elegance. A king does not explain his silences. A queen does not justify her standards. They are simply obeyed, adored, feared, or lost. You must understand this. Attraction is not about giving. It is about withholding with grace. Every gesture, every smile, every word must be weighed, calculated, designed not to please but to provoke. You provoke not with anger, but with absence. Not with insults, but with elevation. Make them feel as though they are reaching upwards, towards someone they can admire, but never quite reach. The higher you are on the mountain, the more they climb. People love a challenge more than they love a comfort. Comfort bores them. Safety repels them. Predictability kills the chase. But you, when you become the impossible equation, the subtle danger, the elegant enigma, they will run after you with trembling hands and hopeful hearts. This is not romance. This is strategy disguised as desire. You must become so rare, so composed, so sovereign, that being in your orbit feels like a privilege they can lose at any moment. And when they feel that fear, they will offer you everything. Their time, their praise, their loyalty, but you must not accept it all. You must let them give more than you receive. Always, because when someone gives more than they get, they become invested. They justify their effort by deepening their attachment. The more energy they pour into you, the less likely they are to walk away. This is the paradox of pursuit. When they give, they bond. When you give too much, they drift. Give just enough to keep the thread alive. A glance, a compliment, a carefully chosen reply, then disappear. Let them replay the moment 100 times, searching for meaning, constructing significance from the smallest interaction. That is how you live rent-free in their mind. You don't occupy their time, you dominate their thoughts. It is not love that keeps someone chasing. It is uncertainty, the possibility of loss, the dream of winning something rare, and you must be rare. Do not be the sun that shines on everyone. Be the eclipse that happens once and is never forgotten. Make them feel like they were chosen, but make them doubt it just enough to keep trying to prove themselves. The second they feel secure, they relax. And relaxed people do not chase. Keep them on edge. Keep them wondering. This isn't about cruelty, it's about sustaining value. When something is rare, it is guarded. When it is common, it is discarded. Be the painting behind glass. Be the room no one enters. Be the door they are afraid to knock on, but dream about opening. Your power lies in being close enough to desire, but far enough to respect. And if they ask for more, pause. Let them sit in that space. Let the silence grow teeth. Because if you fill every gap with explanation, every moment with reassurance, you drain yourself to keep them comfortable. And comfort kills devotion. Make them work for every glimpse, every word, every layer of you. Because when you finally open the door, if you choose to, they must feel they earned it. That access to your soul was not granted, but won. And in that victory, they will bind themselves to you. Not because you demanded it, but because they fought for it. Because they suffered for it. Because they chased it. And humans cherish what they suffer for. It becomes sacred. It becomes theirs. And the moment they believe they might lose it again, they hold it tighter. That's how you make them chase you again and again forever. But remember, what is chased too long without reward eventually becomes a ghost. You must not be cruel in your distance. You must be deliberate. Just as a great ruler offers rare festivals to keep the loyalty of the masses, you too must offer brief moments of intimacy, fleeting and unforgettable. These moments act as proof that the chase is not in vain. A soft glance, a sincere sentence, a gesture so unexpected it sears into memory, then vanish again. This is how you reset the game without killing it. Give just enough to keep them alive in the pursuit, then take it back into silence. It is a dance of tension and release, and the one who controls the rhythm controls the obsession. Your kindness must feel like sunlight in a winter of distance, never promised, always remembered. And when they get close, when their breath mingles with yours and their hands reach for certainty, that is when you pull away. Not out of malice, but to maintain altitude. Intimacy, when overindulged, spoils the air. It flattens the chase, dulls the edge, turns fire into ash. Let them feel you almost giving in. Let them believe the walls are cracking. Then remind them with a pause, a delay, a disappeared presence, that you are not owned. You are not claimed. You are not one of them. This retraction reactivates their hunger. It confuses their instincts. It tells them without words that you are still the storm behind the curtain. And they will wonder what they did wrong, what they missed, how they can return to the moment when they felt close. That wondering is the hook. It sharpens their desire and deepens their bond. You are no longer a person. You are an unfinished story, a chapter they cannot stop rereading. You must also be feared, not with threats, but with the possibility of disappearance. Your absence must haunt more than your presence comforts. The idea that you could leave at any moment without notice, without drama, must weigh in every interaction. This fear, if wielded with subtlety, breeds reverence. They walk carefully, they speak cautiously, they guard your attention as if it were treasure, and in this fear they become dependent. Not because you are cruel, but because you are rare. Fear makes them protect what they could lose, and when they protect you, they bond to you. You become the source of emotional gravity. Their thoughts orbit you, their moods shift with your presence. This is not about being loved. This is about being unforgettable. Love fades, fear lingers, and reverence, that delicate balance of admiration and anxiety, makes them chase with no end in sight. Your identity must be more than skin and words. You must represent an idea, an ideal, a myth in motion. They should not only want you, they should want what you symbolize. Discipline, power, mystery, elegance. Let them project, let them fill in the blanks, but never confirm, never deny. Be water in a locked box. They can hear it, they know it's there, but they cannot touch it. This tension between imagination and reality creates the fuel for endless pursuit. The more they imagine who you might be, the less they care who you actually are. They will fight to keep the fantasy alive because the fantasy makes them feel alive. That is the true hold, not the hand you give, but the one they dream of holding. Understand this. Once they understand you, they stop needing you. The moment the enigma dies, so does the desire. So evolve, change shape, shift your rhythm. Just when they think they know your pattern, break it. Predictability is the assassin of attraction. Keep them off balance. One day, respond with warmth. The next, vanish into silence. 1 week, praise them. The next, ignore their presence. Let them never feel entirely certain. This uncertainty becomes the drug. The chase becomes the high. And you, cold, patient, silent, you become the supplier. You are the one who controls the dosage. And addicts never question the dealer. They beg for another hit. And if they ever try to flip the dynamic, if they withdraw in retaliation, if they mimic your distance, do not chase, do not flinch. The one who waits longest wins. They will come back, because their withdrawal is a tactic. Yours is a nature. You do not play games, you are the game. They may retreat, hoping you panic, but you will not. You will remain poised, unaffected, almost amused. And this composure terrifies them because it confirms what they feared: you don't need them. You never did. And that is when they break. That is when they return, not out of confidence, but out of collapse. That is when the chase resumes, stronger than before, and you, once again, are the one they cannot hold but cannot release. And in this cycle of approach and withdrawal, you must master one more principle: control the tempo, and you control the bond. The greatest commanders do not fight every battle. They choose when to engage, when to wait, when to disappear behind the hills and let the enemy grow anxious. You must do the same. Do not reply immediately. Do not meet them halfway. Let them grow impatient. Let the silence stretch until they fill it with apology, explanation, confession. When you reappear, it must never be casual. Every return must feel intentional, calculated, elevated. You are not resuming a conversation. You are descending from the mountain, and in that descent, they feel privileged to be chosen again. Not everyone receives your presence, and that awareness, that subtle hierarchy, creates an invisible throne they kneel to without even realizing it. Now, what of kindness? What of love? Should you never express it? No, you must, but selectively, strategically. When love is given too freely, it loses value. But when it is rationed with care, it becomes sacred. Tell them you care, but only after long silences. Show them affection, but only after they've doubted it. This contrast makes emotion hit harder. It turns a simple message into a revelation, a touch into a lightning strike. Humans are wired to respond to contrast, to highs after lows, to warmth after cold. You are not denying them affection, you are sculpting its impact. You are amplifying its power. You are ensuring that every gesture lands with weight, that every word echoes, that every moment with you feels cinematic, etched in memory, distorted by emotion, magnified by scarcity. You must also manage perception. Reputation is leverage. It is the invisible currency that increases your worth without lifting a finger. Be seen rarely, but always as composed. Never be caught pleading, explaining, or oversharing. If rumors swirl, let them. Silence strengthens myth. Denial weakens it. You must be talked about more than you talk. You must be studied more than you reveal. The moment they believe they fully understand you, your value is capped. But when your motives are unclear, when your past feels like a puzzle, when your emotions shift like moonlight through trees, they keep watching, they keep wondering, they keep chasing. You do not need to be perfect, but you must be ungraspable, a ghost in velvet, a monarch in exile, present but never owned. Every so often, give them a glimpse of what life would be like with you, a night of laughter, a flash of depth, a rare direct compliment that strikes their insecurities like lightning. Then take it away. Let them remember it for days. Let them try to earn it again. You're not creating pain, you're creating elevation. You are making them work for moments that feel transcendent, and the harder they work, the more valuable you become. Most people chase love, but what they're truly chasing is self-worth. Make them feel worthy for winning your attention, and they will crave that feeling forever, not because it comes easily, but because it must be earned. That is the difference between being liked and being unforgettable. Do not be afraid to be misunderstood. Power is often mistaken for arrogance. Distance is called coldness. Standards are labeled cruelty. Let them say what they will. You are not here to please, you are here to rule your own reality. To be chased forever, you must not bend for the comfort of others. You must hold the line. You must walk away when disrespected. You must say no without explanation. Every time you break your boundary to keep someone, you teach them you are for sale. But when you hold firm, when you choose peace over attention, when you walk away without spectacle, you become legend. And legends are never chased because they are nice. They are chased because they are rare, because they are remembered, because they left when others begged them to stay. There is a silent power in not needing to be liked. The world bends to those who remain still while others panic. If they ignore you, do not react. If they insult you, do not defend. If they withdraw, let them. Your lack of reaction is your greatest show of strength. It flips the entire dynamic. You are no longer the one being affected. You are the one causing the effect. And when you are the cause, you are the center. And the center, by nature, is always chased. You are not playing hard to get. You are hard to reach. There's a difference. One is a tactic. The other is an identity. You are not acting mysterious. You are. You are not pretending to be rare. You are. Because you have mastered the art of emotional control, and that more than beauty, charm or wit is what makes them return to you like a tide pulled by the moon. And once they are caught in your orbit, do not lower your guard in exchange for comfort. The temptation to reward their chase with complete access is the very doorway through which you lose all control. They will ask for more time, more truth, more of you. But you must never hand over your essence like a gift. Power is not given. It is negotiated through presence and distance. If they feel they've cracked your code, rewrite yourself. If they think they've claimed you, disappear. Your evolution must never end. Not because you are hiding, but because you are expanding. Let them chase a moving target. The illusion that they are close, that they are almost there, keeps their hunger sharp. Satisfaction is death. Your brilliance must always seem just out of reach, tangible enough to crave, but elusive enough to pursue endlessly. But even the most disciplined must guard against familiarity. Familiarity breeds contempt, and contempt is the enemy of pursuit. If they begin to feel that they can predict your next move, they will treat you as ordinary. And what is ordinary is never chaste. So surprise them. Not with theatrics, but with silence, with solitude, with sudden shifts in rhythm. 1 week, be warmth and gravity. The next, be wind and absence. Do not explain these changes. Let them wrestle with uncertainty. Let them look inward, question themselves, chase the echo of who you were yesterday. This disorientation feeds their obsession, because the more they try to stabilize you, the more they tie themselves to your chaos. And your chaos, when framed with elegance and mystery, becomes art. They won't know whether to love you or survive you, and in that confusion, they'll never stop returning. Never allow them to believe they've conquered your attention. Even when you care deeply, let your affection flow like a current beneath ice, moving, but never seen entirely. Emotion, when exposed too soon, becomes ammunition in weaker hands. But when felt but not flaunted, it becomes a force they respect. Your care must be implied, not declared. It must be in the pauses between sentences, in the glance that lingers a second longer than it should. Power lies in suggestion, in what remains unsaid. Make them search for proof. Make them question their assumptions. Make them wonder if you ever cared at all. And when doubt lives alongside desire, the heart becomes addicted to resolution. They will keep chasing, not because you gave them everything, but because you gave them just enough to hope. Control is also maintained through contrast. If you are always cold, they adjust. If you are always warm, they relax. But if you shift gently, subtly, unpredictably, they stay alert. They stay invested. This is how you condition them to see your presence as a gift. They stop expecting and start hoping. And when someone hopes, they wait, they watch, they sacrifice. This is the state you want them in, uncertain, captivated, loyal. Their loyalty will not be to you, but to the version of themselves they become in your pursuit. And that version, the one that tries harder, reaches further, endures longer, is what makes them stay. You are not offering comfort, you are offering transformation, and people will chase transformation long after they've tired of love. Be warned, there will come a moment when they demand clarity, when they ask what this is, where it's going, what they mean to you. Do not panic. This is the moment of truth. Most crumble here, most explain, apologize, try to prove they are safe, but not you. You will look them in the eye and say nothing. Or better, smile, because the moment you name it, you kill it. Mystery cannot be defined. It must be lived. If you do speak, make your words poetic and disorienting. Speak of timing, of the beauty of uncertainty, of the chaos of connection. Offer philosophy, not confession. They won't understand it, and that's the point. Understanding ends the chase. Confusion sustains it. And if they walk away, let them. The ones who leave never belong to the game. But the ones who stay despite the silence, those are the ones who will chase you until their bones remember your name. You must also be a mirror. Reflect back to them what they wish they were, their potential, their shadow, their hunger. When they look at you, they should see the version of themselves they wish they could become, more composed, more powerful, more unshakable. This creates longing, not just for you, but for what you represent. And when someone longs for a better version of themselves through you, they attach not with rope, but with soul. They believe chasing you is chasing themselves. And that illusion is stronger than any vow. You are not the end, you are the path. A path paved in riddles, sharp glances, and beautiful cruelty. They will follow it, even if it ruins them, especially if it ruins them. Because some people don't want peace, they want fire, they want to be undone. And when you become the one who can undo them elegantly, ruthlessly, silently, they will chase you forever. But fire, if not mastered, burns both the chaste and the chaste. And here lies your final responsibility: how to remain untouchable without becoming empty. Power must be preserved, yes, but not at the cost of your essence. You must remain human, just not accessible. You must feel deeply, but express rarely. Behind your discipline, there must be depth. Behind your detachment, conviction. For when the world realizes that your silence holds oceans, that your restraint is rooted in understanding, not avoidance, they begin to revere, not resent. You are no longer merely the mystery. They sense there is a philosophy beneath your distance, a reason behind your walls, and that reason, that internal code, becomes legend. They will speak of you not only in terms of affection, but in terms of alignment. There was something about them, they'll whisper. I never knew what it was, but it changed me. This is what separates the chaste from the remembered. Many can provoke desire, few can provoke transformation. But when you carry silence like a sword and presence like a flame, you force people to see themselves. Your absence doesn't just trigger longing, it triggers reflection. They begin to question their patterns, their value, their impulses, and this discomfort binds them. You have become their mirror, their muse, their war. They will call it love, but it is much deeper. It is psychological, spiritual. You are no longer someone they want, you are someone they must resolve, and resolution, when wrapped in mystery, is never reached, so they chase. They chase not you, but the feeling you bring, the question you never answered, the part of them you awakened and then refused to comfort. And that is how you haunt them, not with noise, but with the silence that follows you like perfume. To sustain this forever, you must detach from outcome. You do not chase validation. You do not wait for closure. You are a storm with no center. You must be willing to be misunderstood, to be called cold, distant, manipulative, even cruel. Because only those who lack control call discipline cruelty. Let them say what they will. You are not here to be explained, you are here to be experienced. The deeper they go, the more they find. And that depth, when unyielding, becomes a labyrinth. You do not owe clarity to those who haven't earned chaos. If they demand certainty, give them poetry. If they seek security, show them their own reflection. And if they want to walk away, let them. Only the weak flee mystery. The strong, those with depth, with fire, with yearning, will stay. And they will chase not because they must, but because they can't stop. And you will continue, unbothered. You will rise early, work quietly, build kingdoms no one sees coming. You will speak less, observe more, and let the world write myths about your silence. Your energy, once scattered in explaining, will return to its source. You will walk into rooms like prophecy. You will no longer seduce with your words, but with your indifference. Not because you don't care, but because you finally care enough to stop giving yourself to those who didn't earn it. You are not available, you are not owed, you are a reward. And those who wish to touch your soul must first master their own. So let them talk, let them wonder, let them romanticize the last message you never sent. You are no longer in the game, you are the game. You are the standard they now measure others against. You are the voice they hear in silence, the wound they carry with pride, the ache they return to in solitude. And while they chase, while they spiral, while they try to replace you, you are calm, alone, but never lonely, desired, but never desperate, because you understand what they do not. Value does not shout, power does not pursue, and love, real love, is not given. It is earned, and only then granted in fragments to the worthy. Now ask yourself this, in the quiet of your own mind: are you still chasing, or are you finally being chased? And if you're not, why? Where have you given too much? Where did you flinch? Where did you explain when you should have vanished? Correct it, cut it, close the gates, let the silence speak. Because in that silence the real game begins. If you've made it this far, it's because a part of you is already ready for this new path. A part of you has already realized that being loved means nothing if it requires abandoning yourself. Real self-love begins the moment you choose you, even if it costs you comfort, approval, or connection, even if it costs you being alone for a while. So tell me in the comments, are you ready to be misunderstood, rejected, even hated, in the name of your inner freedom? Are you willing to pay the price of being you? If this message touched something in you, if it made sense, write in the comments, "I choose my peace." Let's see how many of us are truly ready for this transition. And don't forget, keep watching the next video. It's more important than you think. I'll see you there.